So you're going to begin in standing, and we're going to go through your postural corrections a little bit here. You're pressing down into your hands, lifting out through the crown of the head. Elbows are reaching wide out to the sides of the room. I want you to rotate your right hip back and glide your hips a little bit over to your left. And open up behind your left rib, so rotate them back, and you're going to glide them a little bit to the left. And now you're going to rotate open through that right shoulder. Good, let's teapot up your arms, and imagine you have people pulling your elbows wide out to the sides of the room, lifting out through the crown of the head. Keep the hips gliding over to your left ribs back, right shoulder open. You're going to rise up onto your tippy toes, try to maintain all of that, and lower back down. Okay, so we didn't do this together, but I think that you're ready for it, okay? So this is kind of a little preparatory movement before we begin that walking, maintaining all of your corrections here. You're lifting up onto your tippy toes. Make sure you're not rolling to the outsides of the ankles or the insides. All 10 toes are evenly pressing down into the floor. Your ankles are stacking over top of the ball of the foot. And lower back down. Good. Open up behind the ribs. And lower down. 2 more times. Floating out through the crown of the head. Good. And last time, sometimes it's helpful to do this in front of a mirror. Good. And lower back down. Shake it out. Okay. And you can progress that to walking. Okay. So having your hands up on top of your shoulders, elbows reaching out wide. And I'm not going to walk around with you. But I want you to try and do that, like find a nice space length on the floor that you can walk back and forth, maintaining all of that beautiful alignment that you just achieved. So I'd like you to grab a kitchen chair, okay? And we're going to do that seated elongation, straddling the back of the chair. Okay, so you have the back of the chair facing away, and you're going to have a seat. Feet, make sure your feet are flat. If you need to use your yoga blocks, go ahead and do that. And you're going to take your hands and press them down into the back of the chair. Again, elbows are reaching super wide out to the sides of the room, okay? So the tendency here is to kind of flail and fall into that lower back, into your beautiful concave ribs here. That is not the goal here. You're trying to find length through the spine. Drop the tailbone down towards your seat. Press down into the feet, elbows reach out wide and lengthen towards the ceiling. Go ahead and rotate your left ribs back. Good. Press down a little bit more into that left hip. Remember, we're trying to glide those hips to the left. Ribs glide a little bit left as well, and then open up through the right shoulder. Inhaling. And exhale, pull back through the belly button, float up a little bit taller through the crown of the head. Good, and press down through the feet, down through the arms, elbows reach out wide. Try to turn off your hip flexors. So you're pushing down into your feet to connect into the hamstrings and the glutes a little bit. Glide the ribs to the left and rotate the ribs back on the left. Open up through the right shoulder. And breathe. Find your pocket of air under your right armpit here. Good, go ahead and relax, shake it out. Okay. So now you're going to come and face me. Maybe you already were. Okay, we're going to do that muscle cylinder. That was a little bit tricky. Okay, so this is the one where you can actually sit on the floor with your legs crossed. or sit onto the chair, whatever is easiest for you. And we're focusing on maintaining the length on both sides of the waist, okay? So you're focusing on organizing the spine first. So the left ribs draw back, the right shoulder draws back, and you have a little pressure down into the hands. Good. And what worked well for you is having your fingertips at the top of the hips and then your thumbs at the bottom of the ribs, and you want to maintain that space. You're going to tip up and over to your left. Good, so we're not side bending here. We're not hiking up the hip, okay? We're finding that nice length. And the hip just lifts ever so slightly because we're transferring our weight over, okay? So now you're going to tip up and over to your right, and the left hip gets a little air under it. Come back to center. And inhale up and over. It's a very small movement, it does not have to be big. And come back to center. And lift up and over, pull back through the center. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Try not to do this or this. It's just an extension of the rest of your spine. Good. And one more time each way. Lengthen, tip up and over. Pull back through the belly button. And center. And one more time. And back to center. Good. Relax. Give yourself a little wiggle. Nice job. That's it.